I become quiet, reflecting slowly on how to release myself from the bitter feelings against someone, against myself, against life. I become quiet. I slow down my thoughts, my emotions, and decide to live in the now, to say yes to the new opportunities that each day offers. As I gently concentrate, as I become more peaceful, I decide to finish my complaints about the past, about incidents, about people that wounded me. I decide to release myself from guilt and regret. I choose to see and remove my blindness. I choose to remove my ache and heal the wound. In silence, in peace, in self-respect, in the consciousness of my original goodness, I let go of all blame. In humility, I do not accuse anyone for my pain, for my problem, for my sorrow. I stop accusing. Now, I have learned about taking responsibility to create my own happiness, my own freedom, especially my own well-being. I realize it doesn't depend on anyone else. In confidence, with a deep feeling of love, of kindness, I embrace forgiveness. And as I give these feelings, these good feelings, to others and to myself, I truly feel liberated. I feel at peace with myself. I feel healed. And I do ask, why hold on? Why this anger? Why this blame? I keep giving to myself love, trust, hope, and especially a new opportunity to live more peacefully, more positively. With courage, I embrace what I resented. I embrace what I had misunderstood. I embrace the injustice and truly feel released from these twisted feelings in my heart, released from the heaviness in my mind. I have learned to say, it doesn't matter. Let go. I accept. I transform my feelings. And in this embrace of acceptance, I learn. I forgive, I forget, and now I move on. I move on. And through this embrace of forgiveness, I become whole. I feel reconciled to myself and to the other. I feel understood by the universe, by God, and especially by my own inner self. I am fully released, and my being is serene and restored. My mind and my heart are now well. I understand this drama of life and accept the parts of the actors and realize that everything is for a reason. And in this, I find the capacity to accept and to learn. This embrace of forgiveness makes me whole, makes me peaceful, makes me tolerant, makes me free, completely free.
हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर। हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर। प्यारा पिता बुलाता, प्यारा पिता बुलाता, पूरा हुआ सफर। हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर। बड़ी शान से कभी हम घर छोड़ कर के निकले, माता पिता भी सारे दुनिया मेरा भूले, दुनिया मेरा भूले। अपने वतन से बिछड़े मुद्दत गए गुजर। हो गई है शाम, मझधार से निकाला, बड़े प्यार से उठाकर पलकों में है संभाला, पलकों में है संभाला। पाकर के प्यार प्रभु का किस्मत गई संवर। हो गई है शाम, दिखता था दूर से जो कितना हंसी नजारा, सब देख लिया है हमने, अपना ही घर है प्यारा, अपना ही घर है प्यारा। अब तो वही निशाना आता हमें नजर, हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर। हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर। प्यारा पिता बुलाता, प्यारा पिता बुलाता, पूरा हुआ सफर। हो गई है शाम, चलो लौट चले घर।
Om Shanti. Let's meditate for some minutes. Keep the body still. And see yourself as an actor. Playing a role in this stage. Wearing the costume of this body. I am the soul, the star, the being, the actor, wearing this costume called the body and playing a role on this stage. I have been playing this role for quite a while now. I feel tired. Everything else takes rest. I have not been given rest for a long time. Even when the body sleeps, I, the soul, don't sleep. My man and buddhi are active. Let me just take some rest now. Slowly, gently, pull back your buddhi and your mind to yourself. Disentangle it, unplug it from the whole world. Just pull back your man and buddhi. Bring it to yourself. I, the being, have my man and buddhi with me now. I plug my buddhi to the world beyond, to that sweet home called Nirvana. That world which is even beyond the sky, that world of light, that world of peace, my sweet home. I take my buddhi there and my mind follows. I see myself, the small star, the seed in that world of light. All around me, there is just this golden red light. There are waves of peace and purity. This whole world is resonating with waves of peace and purity. Like a seed, I just sit in this world of silence. The sweet silence of the sweet home starts to color me. I soak in the silence of the silence world. Just like I soak seeds in water overnight, I soak in the peace of the world of peace. I am like the still soul, taking in the pure and peaceful vibrations of the world around me. This is my home, where my man and buddhi are at rest. There is no sound, not even the sound of a thought. Absolute peace, a sweet peace in this world. Just sit there for a few minutes. I, the soul, in my home, in the world of peace, taking in the peace, dip by dip, gradually, slowly. Now I gently come back, take back my place in the costume. Nourished, recharged, and healed. There is a calmness in my demeanor. There is a contentment. Om Shanti. So, could you go there? How many could please raise your hand? Okay, so, okay, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. So, you see, we go to so many places, and it's always that we are traveling with our mind and intellect. So wherever we go, we go with our man and buddhi, right? So does the past exist? Does the past exist? Where is the past? How do you go to the past? You go to the past based on your memory of the past. The past doesn't exist as such. So you go to the past, you take your buddhi, your attention to something that happened in the past, and then your mind starts experiencing it. And you go to the future. Now, you do not know the future, but you go to the future several times while you are traveling on the road, and you see some traffic, and then you go to the future and you see yourself getting late and getting getting scolded for being late, and or being embarrassed for being late. So all of this you see and you experience. So you experience the past, you experience the future, you create a scene of what's going on in somebody else's mind, or you have an idea about what's happening in the world based on your man and buddhi. So basically, so everything that exists inside you, whatever you experience, is based on your man and buddhi. So wherever you take your buddhi, your mind starts experiencing that thing. Now, why is our mind always experiencing restlessness or unhappiness or discontentment? Because our buddhi has been oriented that way. We go to all those places, all those events. We develop that perception which makes us feel like that. So we have been oriented to think like that. So, when you go to a shop and you are buying something, so you could just trust the person and you could buy that thing, and you could come back and be happy about it or happy while buying it. But what we do is we do the same thing. We buy things, right? So we evaluate, we buy stuff, but then all the while we keep this tendency of mistrust. So I will keep creating this thought, this person is cheating me, or they are trying to dupe me, or they are trying to overcharge me. And then when I come back also, I will create thoughts, I didn't have a good deal, or I got less than, I paid more than I should. So we do all these things. Why? Because that is how our buddhi has been conditioned these days. So it's all about what your mind experiences is about your buddhi, about what's there in your buddhi, how your buddhi discerns and decides based on your sanskar. So all these internal processes are continuously going on. Now we are never at rest because we don't know where to take the buddhi or how to take the buddhi to a place which is peaceful, or which is full of calmness and tranquility. Now it is for us to think that since the original design of the soul is peace, love, purity, then there must be a home of the soul which is full of peace and purity. Now, we have all grown up hearing these words, Brahmalok, Parlok, Param Dham, Shanti Dham, Nirvan Dham or Nirvana. So we hear these terms, Mukti Dham. We hear these terms. So what do these terms signify, and where are these worlds, and how do we understand them, or how do we go to them? So people say, I want to go to Nirvana after I die. But then do you know that psychology says that when a person dies, so those impressions in his memory track which are very strongly imprinted, so whatever strongest memories you are carrying inside yourself will come back to you once when you are about to leave this body. So those memories will come back, and then whatever your state of being is at the time you leave the body, that decides where you go. So how can you go to nirvana after leaving the body if you have never even thought about nirvana, or you don't know what nirvana is? So you need to, so for example, you have to go to a party. So what do? You try to figure out how distant that place is, or you look up the Google Maps and then you see, okay, it will take me so much of time to reach there. So you get ready on time, you leave on time, and then you keep following the map. Or sometimes some people, what they do is they take a visit prior to that day and just see how they have to go there. So we are all talking about going back home or going back to nirvana. But then how do you go back if you have never thought about it, or never rehearsed going there mentally? So how can you go physically to a place where you have never been mentally, or which is not even in your perception or conception? So God tells us about our home. So we have all heard these phrases, this world is a stage and we are actors. And in Hindi it is said, Duniya musafir khana hai, ana hai aur jana hai. So this is a musafir khana, this is a stage. We are actors, we are guests, we understand this concept. So where is the home? Where do we really belong to? And just like you see, physically there is a home. So you have a home of the body, and the body takes rest in that home. So when you come back home, you have a bed, you lie down. So where does the soul take rest? So the soul is always active in this stage. So even when we are sleeping, the mind is not fully silent, or the buddhi is always going about in this realm. So somewhere, in the past or the future, the buddhi is there. And then we don't experience that silence, that stillness that we want to experience, that will recharge the soul. So when God comes, so God is called the buddhivanon ki buddhi. So he gives us the buddhi, the wisdom about where is our home, what is our home like. And with that information, we are able to travel home. And how do we do that? By taking our buddhi there and then experiencing that home with our mind, and experiencing ourself, the soul, in that state of rest, in that state of silence. Now, where is the home? So, sometimes in meditation, I will give you a commentary that the home is above the sky. So you, the soul, leave the body and then you fly, and then you reach a place above the sky, and that is your home, and that is full of this golden red light and all. But actually the home is not there. The home is not above or below. It is in the beyond. So you have heard these two words, above and beyond. Now, above is a spatial thing. So, above is a matter of space. So, when you say this thing is above that, so you know where it is. But then we also use words like beyond. So, what does that beyond mean? So, beyond is not a space thing, it's not a geographical thing. So, beyond is when you go beyond your current consciousness. So, you can't go home by taking a physical vehicle like a rocket or an aeroplane. You can go home by lifting your consciousness from here to there. So, just like you can't go to your past physically, you can only go to your past through your man and buddhi. Similarly, the beyond also exists in a different dimension. It is a different state of consciousness. So, it exists there. And so, have you heard about the law of attraction? And then people will tell you that if you go to your future, so if you create an image of a good future or a favorable future, then you are creating it really. So what does that mean? That there are various possibilities in this world, and the possibility of a good future, the possibility of many things going wrong, everything exists simultaneously. But wherever you tune in your consciousness, there you end up. So if you are tuning in your consciousness to a place which is full of possibilities and full of opportunities, then you end up there. And when you are tuning in to a place full of, misery and disaster, always thinking about it, then you are tuning it. Your consciousness is getting tuned to it. You are aligning your frequency with that possibility. So in doing so, you are creating it and you will end up there. Similarly, there is a dimension which is absolutely still and silent, and that is called the soul world, and that is where we existed when we were not on this physical stage. Now what you have to do is you have to understand that dimension and tune into it. Just like you tune into your future or you tune into your past, you tune into that dimension which is called the nirvana or the soul world or the brahmalok. And you know that sannyasis used to meditate on the Brahma, and they used to wear these saffron clothes because they must have had a glimpse of what the Brahmalok looks like. And that is exactly what Shiv Baba has given us the information about. And he says that the soul world is something like what the sannyasis wear. So it's that saffron color, and it is full of that golden red light. And there you, the soul, sit like a seed. So just like you see the seed, until and unless it comes down to earth, so it is planted into the soil, it doesn't need anything. So the seed contains the whole plant in itself, but then the seed doesn't have any needs until it is put into the soil. And once it is put into the soil, it needs everything. It needs water, it needs air, it needs everything. So similarly, I, the soul, am the seed. Until and unless I come to this planet, I don't need anything. And while I'm there in my home, I'm like the seed full inside myself, no tendency to create any thought, no tendency to go anywhere, no tendency to wander. I sit like a seed in that soul world with that vibration of peace and purity all around. And that is my original stage. And then if I plug into that world very often and I take energy from there, I nourish myself by going back to my seed stage, and then I come here and operate. It is like recharging yourself just like you recharge your phone. So that is the home. Now, have you ever wondered that the population keeps increasing? Now, you know that souls are Ajar Amar Avinashi. They are never born, they never die, they are never divided, they never multiply. So one soul is one soul. You can't make it half a soul, or you can't split a soul into two and make it two souls. So one soul is one soul, and then there are so many souls increasing on this planet. So where do we come from? So that home is like the bank of souls or the home of souls from where we are all coming down. Have you ever wondered that the population was approximately 2 billion some 100 years ago? So it's only 100 years ago that the population was approximately 2 billion, and now it is approximately 8 billion. So where were these 6 billion souls? So where are they coming from? So that is the home from where we all come. And in that home, we are all sitting like these seeds who don't need anything. And then when we come onto the stage, we take up these bodies, and then we create these sanskars of needs and desires, and then we keep hankering after them and make ourselves miserable. So this is the stage where all this is happening, and that is our home. So now that you see this population explosion we are faced with, and do you understand that the way we are going on is unsustainable? So, how many understand that the world we are going through right now is unsustainable? So, please raise your hand. So, it is unsustainable, right? So you see, there are, as a whole world also, there is this question of sustainability coming up. Now you understand that everything that is happening around you is unsustainable, but do you also understand that we are not doing anything about it? So individually and collectively, we are not doing anything which can reverse this unsustainable state. So, there was. So I used to work with the health ministry first, and then the Ministry of Rural Development for some time. We in the Brahma Kumaris, we talk about this unsustainability of the world and how this world is going to change. So there has to be some calamity first, and then there has to be a new world. Okay, so there are these two things which I will talk to you about. So, once one person in my office, they asked me that you people always talk about this world coming to an end, and then you are very pessimistic people, and then why do you talk about destruction? Why don't you talk about other stuff? So you make us scared, and you don't give hope and stuff. So I told him, see, first of all, you look back. So, nowadays people are talking about better times to come. So you are expecting the vaccine, and you are expecting other things, and then you think that things will get better. But just look back 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever life you have led, just look back and ask yourself, has the time ever gotten better, or it has only gotten worse? So, do you think that things have gotten better over time? They never get better. So, just like when something is built, so you build a house, it only gets older day by day. it doesn't get renewed day by day on its own. So until and unless you do something about it, it only gets older and older. It gets more into a dilapidated condition day by day. It doesn't renew itself on its own. That's not how it happens. So there is this law of entropy in science, which says that everything will move from an organized to a disorganized state in time. So everything is gently, slowly, gradually collapsing and disintegrating. Can you experience a disintegrating force around you? So there is this force of disintegration where everything is slowly, gradually giving away. It's not reforming itself. It's not becoming a whole. It's coming to tatters day by day. So this is the nature of existence. So every day existence gets older and older. So we are living in a time when this whole world is slowly, gradually disintegrating, and we, all the souls mostly are coming down. So the population here is also increasing. So that soul world, that home, is getting emptier and emptier. And then there has to be a time of revival. So we all have to go back, and then there has to be a start from day one. So I told you that it is all cyclic, it is not linear. It doesn't start from zero. Its last effect is first cause, right? So I told you the rule of the universe, last effect is first cause. So it's not like everything will finish and will start from zero. So we, the souls who are right now here, will go back, and then we will only come back to this new world. Now, so now you have to understand two words: sanskar and sansar. So sometimes you say the sansar is responsible for your sanskar. So you see, sometimes people will say, I am agitated, or I am angry, or I am upset, or I am peaceless, or anxious, or fearful, because of the way the world is right now, right? So people will say that the state of the sansar is defining the state of my sanskar. But actually it is not like that. It is the vice versa. The sanskar creates the sansar. So when you are having these sanskars of greed and selfishness and competition and lust and ego and attachment and anger, this is the sansar we are all creating collectively. So now God tells us, so you see, when we have all come down and it is time for us to go back and then come back to a new world, so God comes to teach us the sanskars that we need for going back and the sanskars we need for coming to a new world. So what do you think is the sanskar you need for going back? So you need the sanskar of detaching from the body so that you can go back, because I told you that the last state of the being defines where they end up. So if at the time when everything is falling apart, you are in a stage of complete detachment from the body and you are connected with the soul world, you go there very peacefully. So that is the way to go back to the soul world. So now you see, whenever anybody dies, you say that person went to mukti or that person went to heaven. But nobody can go to mukti or heaven in the consciousness we are operating right now. So to go to heaven, you must leave this body in a state of heavenly consciousness. Or to go to the soul world, you need to be in a state of complete detachment from the body, when the soul leaves the body. Otherwise, you will keep thinking about the body and you can't go back to the bodiless world. So these are the rules, the laws that God is coming and teaching us. Now I keep saying God has come and God is teaching us. And in the next few days, I will tell you how He comes, how He talks, what this whole knowledge is based on. So this is not something that I'm speaking intuitively or from my own mind or understanding. I'm speaking this from the knowledge that God has given from Bhagwanu Vach. So in the Gita, you read that God comes and God speaks the Gita. And you also hear that God comes when there are many religions and He destroys all religion and creates one religion. That is, Anek Dharmo ka Vinash, Ek Sat Dharam ki Sthapna. So, what do you think is the time when God should come? What is the time when there are many religions? This is right now is the time when all the religions are here, and the religions, there is dharam glani. So people have lost faith in religion. This is the time of dharam glani, and this is the time when God comes and destroys all religions and teaches us how to go back to our own religion, which is peace and purity. What is the religion of the soul? The religion of the soul is not Hindu, Muslim, is Christian or Sikh or anything. The religion of the soul is peace and purity. So we have stopped being peaceful and pure, and we are talking about religion always. So I will, there is a very interesting incident. I had once been to Haridwar, and there, they have these shops and they sell these beautiful shivlingams and other, puja related stuff. It's very nice. So when I went there, I also went to those shops. And then there was, in one of these shops, there was this person who started talking to me. There's the shopkeeper, and he asked me, because of the dress and all, he thought that this is something different. So he said, where have you come from and what do you do? And then I started talking to him about that we teach that we are souls and we belong to the Supreme Soul. So then he told me, I'm very happy to meet you because you are protecting dharma. So आप धर्म की रक्षा कर रहे हैं, he told me. So I said, I would like to ask you whether हम धर्म की रक्षा करते हैं, धर्म हमारी रक्षा करता है. So should our dharma protect us or should we protect our dharma? So he said, Aajkal to we are only protecting our dharma. So we are fighting for our dharam and we are trying to establish that my dharam is the saint, sacred one or the pure one or the powerful one. So I said, so this is what we need to change. So, our dharma is not what we are externally trying to uphold. Our dharma is inside. So the dharma of every soul is to stay peaceful and pure, come what may. So that is the dharam. So it is said, there is a very good saying. It is said, dharat pariye dharam na chodiye. That is, even if somebody chops off your head, you don't leave your dharma. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that even if somebody chops off your head, you don't go and convert your dharma externally. That's not what it means. It means that come what may, you don't leave your state of peace or purity. You leave that intact. Even if somebody is at his worst behavior with you, you don't need to take that to heart and create ill feelings in in that sacred space of your mind, because you are a pure soul. You are a peaceful soul. So when we say dharma, the swadharma, or the basic nature of every soul is peace and purity. So, dharma means nature, dharma means religion, dharma means what you uphold in any circumstance, come what may. So that is the nature of the soul. That is what we need to uphold. So peace and purity are my basic nature. So God comes and re-establishes this swadharma, or he finishes all religions. So we have started thinking that I am this or I am that, or I belong to this or that religion. And then God comes and teaches us what is swadharma, and then he teaches us how to go back to being ourselves, and then he teaches us how to go home by rehearsing how to go home. So until and unless you rehearse how to go home, so time and again during the day, you need to practice disengaging from this body, loosening your costume, coming to being yourself, and taking your buddhi, flying your buddhi to that home, and then sitting there and experiencing that home with your mind. So wherever your buddhi gets plugged, you experience that place. So now God is teaching us how to take our buddhi there. So how God came and taught, I will tell you from tomorrow. But first you understand what he is teaching. He is teaching us to disengage from our man and buddhi from here, come back to being a soul, being just an actor, leaving the costume with the buddhi, and then, taking the buddhi to that world beyond and sitting there and experiencing that world with your mind. And that world is not a physical world, that is in the beyond, that is a non-physical world, that is a state of consciousness. And once you have a relationship with that world, by taking your consciousness to that world very often, then as soon as it is time for you to leave this body, you fly there, because you have already tuned in your consciousness to that world. Now, you see, there are, before I came to this knowledge, I will give you a little background. So I used to read a lot. So I have read a lot about how consciousness creates reality, or how, everybody is talking about higher consciousness. So, there's this word coming up very often. And then I used to understand that what thoughts become things, and then you end up creating the reality you think about. So I knew what my mind and buddhi are capable of, but nobody told me what to think about. So then, after reading all these self awareness books, what I used to do is think about money. So you don't know what to think about, what else to attract, or what else to think about. So you don't know where to go, what to take, which is the higher consciousness you want to connect to. So what is the reality you want to create? So you are always thinking about stuff that you already know, and that is no good. So then when I came to the Brahma Kumaris, I came to be introduced to this world of silence and this world of absolute peace, and then the golden age, which is a world where we have no ego, no anger, no attachment, no lust, no greed. So I started taking my awareness to that concept of how it would be when I don't have ego or anger or lust. How would I be? How I, the soul, would operate? How would I think? How would I feel? And then now I understand how this consciousness creates realities to be used actually. So we know of these laws, but then everybody tells us what your mind is capable of, or what your buddhi is capable of, but nobody tells you what you should do with that power. So God tells us that you need to create a stage within yourself which enables you to go home and which enables you to go to the new age, the golden age, where there are no vices once you leave this body. And that will happen if you start taking your man buddhi there. Now, do you know, if whatever I am talking is making sense to you, then you also understand that the state of the world is getting worse and worse day by day, because we are always plugging our buddhi to the worst states of the world, and we are creating with our mind or giving energy to worst states of the world. So how are we using our man and buddhi right now? We are plugging our consciousness to whatever wrong is happening around us, and with that attention, the wrong or the ill or the poor state of affairs is being given more power. And then Kalyug is becoming more and more Kalyug because of the way we are thinking. So, and I will give you one very simple example. So, these days, any little defect in the child's body, and the parents pay so much of attention to it, or anything wrong in their school or anything wrong in their surrounding, parents blow it out of proportion, and then it becomes a part of the child's consciousness. Now, I there was this mother who came to me and shared that, Didi, my child has stopped going to school. So I said, so not in these corona times, it was earlier. Now everybody has stopped going to school. But then in those times, she used to tell me, my child has stopped going to school. So I said, why? So she said he faced a lot of bullying. So I said, please give me some more details. So she said there was this group of boys in the school and they used to bully him badly. And then, so that was happening. So I told her, and who told him that he's being bullied or it's something very bad happening to him? So she said that, no, we fought with the school administration, we fought with this and that, and then it became a big scene, and then my child felt very scared going back to school. So she gave me all those details. So I said, you see, when your child is getting bullied, in your opinion, then what you do is you empower your child. You don't you take it up with the administration individually, separately, but you empower your child. You tell them that somebody saying something which they don't like is can be addressed by staying strong inside and giving a befitting reply. So if somebody is trying to threaten you, you face it. You don't go and hide in your home. So that way it doesn't happen. So how many times will you hide? This world is full of obstacles, and there you will encounter one obstacle at every opportunity. So you need to empower yourself. But you see, because of that approach, now that child is taken to medicines and other stuff, and he is not in a good place. So we are paying attention. So we are always saying that this situation is not good, or this person is not good, and we are giving our attention and our power to that which is not good. But why aren't we focusing on our inner resources? Yes, everything external is not good, but you internally have a spiritual immunity system, just like you have a physical immune system which protects you against the onslaught of viruses and bacteria. You have a spiritual immunity system as well. That is, you have your own power to tolerate and face and put up with, or adjust, or accommodate. So you have these powers, and once you train yourselves in that power, then you will be able to deal with the worst. So God tells us that You are only paying attention to what is wrong outside, and in that is growing. So you must understand that it's not that we are not participating in the creation of Kali Yuga. We are contributing directly also by engaging in negative emotions. And when we are creating emotions as a negative emotions as a response or a reaction also, we are empowering Kali Yuga more and more. So then God teaches us how to stay in our power, how to create pure feelings, pure wishes, pure state of mind despite circumstances, how to feel that I am separate from the body and I have the capacity to choose my state of mind, how to unplug from here several times a day and charge yourself, because there is no other charge available. These days, if you want to even go on a holiday and charge yourself, that opportunity is not available anymore. So these are the ways in which God is teaching us to insulate ourselves from the effects of what's going on around us, and also how to use our man and buddhi to create a different reality for the future. Okay, we will talk about things in more detail tomorrow. Okay, so there is a question, we will take it up. I had this question yesterday: how does the population grow if energy doesn't get created or destroyed? Okay. Before rebirth, do all souls go back to nirvana? No. We only go back to nirvana at the end of the cycle. While the cycle is continuing, we keep taking bodies, shedding bodies. We are here itself. So we will learn more about these things in the future chapters. Do souls have a choice if they don't want to be reborn? No, they don't have a choice if they don't want to be reborn. They have a choice about where they want to be reborn. Because you are reborn according to your sanskars and your karma. So we can choose our sanskars and karma, and we can choose a good birth. Okay. If someone in the family has anger or ego issues or ignores us, how are we supposed to behave? Is there anything like self-respect, or is it our illusion? As out of self-respect we take a step back to, is that something right to do? See, so I think I will take this up. So there are three words. There is, in Hindi we call it abhiman, which is mostly called ego in English. Then there is swabhiman, which is called self-respect. And then God introduces us to a third thing, which is called swaman, which is self-honor, or the dignity the soul has for itself. So I will discuss these three terms with you tomorrow, and please remind me in the beginning so I don't miss it. So I will discuss what is the difference between swaman, swabhiman and abhiman, and then we will try to understand that if somebody is able to hurt it, it is not self-respect. Because self-respect is your respect for yourself. And why we get hurt by somebody else? Because we are vulnerable inside. So when we are healed inside, then we are in swaman, and then nobody can hurt us. So even if somebody has an anger issue or an ego issue and they are saying something or doing something, I will not be hurt by them. I will stay strong and I will be unaffected because there is no vulnerability inside me. So, if you hit a strong thing, your hand gets hurt. And if you hit a weak thing, that thing gets hurt. So, it depends on who is stronger, basically. Okay, so we will understand this in more detail. Remind me, I will talk about these three things. Okay, usually when we try to experience something like this, our eyes tend to close. So what can we do about it? As Rajyoga is about keeping our eyes open. So You see, it's not like you have to keep your eyes open, like put a lot of pressure on it and keep it open. It is just that when you meditate, you keep it open, and if it is closing naturally, it's okay. But you don't close it and do it. So, have you seen the picture of Shankar? So, in Shankar's picture, you have these half closed eyes. So that is the eyes of a yogi. So the eyes of a yogi are not fully open, not fully closed. So you have drifted away in consciousness. So your eyes are here, so your eyes are open, but then you are oriented somewhere else. So that's why your eyes tend to look like half closed. So that is how our eyes appear when we are meditating. Okay, Om Shanti. Let's meditate for some time. Have a moment of stillness and silence. Allow your body to relax. Disengage your buddhi from the world around you and just turn it inside. Take it to yourself. You sitting behind the eyes. A sparkling diamond whose nature is purity. I, the soul, am pure in nature. The lotus flower symbolizes purity. I have the quality of the lotus in me. Just like the lotus can sit in muddy water and still stay clean, I can be surrounded by various vibrations, various circumstances, behaviors, and I can still stay clean. I know I'm a pure soul. I respect the sacred space of my mind. I do not allow anyone or anything to pollute it. Whatever is happening outside stays outside. I don't let it infiltrate my mind. I watch out every second. I do not take any negativity outside. Do not allow it to enter into my sacred space.
When someone writes an article to be published in a magazine, having written the article, the author checks it to see whether everything is written correctly and is impressive, and whether it is according to the aim or the topic. In the same way, from Amrit Vela until night, you also write an essay of your accounts through your practical thoughts, words, and actions. That is, it is recorded in the drama through your actions. Every night, check everything that was recorded or written as to how impressive and powerful it was, and check how much was wasted. Do you have such checking? This much attention and checking is absolutely essential at this time for your self-progress.
जगह बड़ी ही शांत है, तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है।
वो जगह बड़ी ही शांत है, तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है। वो जगह
शांत है, तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है।
वहाँ खुशबू चारों ओर तेरी और चमक बड़ी निराली है।
वहाँ खुशबू चारों ओर तेरी और चमक बड़ी निराली है।
संकल्पों का वहाँ बोध नहीं, हर मन अंदर से खाली है।
हर मन अंदर से खाली है, हर मन अंदर से खाली है। शब्दों में ना वृतांत है, तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है।
तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है।
वो जगह बड़ी ही शांत है, तेरा मुल्क तेरा प्रांत है।